Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Guru Bhakta Vrinda So, let me share the screen. So till now, we have been going through the the Guru Tattva from the first chapter of Adi Leela Chaitanya Charitamrita. We are going through the 34th to 58th verse, and we have last, I think, 5 6 weeks, we have been on the 35th verse and on the first two paragraphs. Because the first two paragraphs, they start talking about the Bhagavad Vidhi of initiation, of initiating Guru. The verse is about, the 135 is about who is, that there is, I pay obeisances to the initiating spiritual master, the mantra Guru, and the instructing spiritual master. So in that, Srila Prabhupada starts talking about the different kinds of how to get initiated through the Bhagavata Vidhi. So to try and to understand Bhagavata Vidhi, we are taking so many different examples from different pastimes in the Bhagavatam, as pointed out by Srila Jiva Goswami in the Bhakti Sandarbha 202, which is the whole purport of 135 by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati originally in his Anubhashya commentary, and then Srila Prabhupada in his commentary, which is following the Anubhashya commentary. So, last, I think, 2 weeks, we have been, Mathurapati Prabhu has been taking us through the 25th chapter of the third canto of the Bhagavatam, which is the process of devotional service, or the glories of devotional service, which is Lord Kapila. He is explaining this to Mother Devahuti, where he talks about how the devotional service is performed, starting with once the person who can perform devotion service or pure devotion service is someone who has become materially exhausted, one who understands that there is nothing in the material world that I am able to enjoy. I don't know how else to live, what else to do, what more is there. Then one approaches with that right attitude, the right desire to the spiritual master. So that's the first part, is the desire, our own desire. That was like till the 19th verse. Then from the 20th verse, Lord Kapila, he started talking about uh, even though one has already become material exhausted, but our attachments are still there. We are still thinking, how I can live without so many. We have become all illusion into getting attached to so many things, so many people. So to remove those attachment, to go to the spiritual plane, the Srila Kapila Muni, he says the best way is by getting attached to a Mahatma. And if one gets attached to a Mahatma, then one's attachment to material things becomes gradually gone. So then he starts talking about what are the symptoms of a Mahatma or a Sadhu, which is synonym, Srila Prabhupada says. So now, not only he was talking about one Sadhu, now he talks about the verses which we are going to do today, which is verse number 23 to 26, are talking about the sadhus in other than the one sadhu, like it's a group of sadhus. And so those are the four verses we will talk about. 1 second. I have to take this. Hold on. Um, is Are you able to see this? The 23rd verse? Hare Krishna, is everyone able to see?
Yes, Prabhu.
Would you like to go through the verse and the purport? Whoever? Anyone? Okay.
I can go, Prabhu.
Okay.
Madashraya katha mrishta shrunavanti kathayanti cha tapanti vividhastapa naitan madgata chetasaha. Synonyms: Mat ashraya, about me; katha, stories; mrishtha, delightful. Prabhu, I think you change the screen. Thank you. Shrunuvanti, they hear; kathayanti, they chant; cha, and; tapanti, inflict suffering; vividha, various; tapa, the material miseries; na, do not; etan, onto them; madgata, fixed on me; chetasah, their thoughts. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Engaged constantly in chanting and hearing about me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the sadhus do not suffer from material miseries because they are always filled with thoughts of my pastimes and activities. Purport: There are multifarious miseries in material existence, those pertaining to the body and the mind, and those imposed by other living entities, and those imposed by natural disturbances. But a sadhu is not disturbed by the miserable condition because his mind is always filled with Krishna consciousness. And thus, he does not like to talk about anything but the activities of the Lord. Maharaja Ambrish did not speak of anything but the pastimes of the Lord. Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane. Bhagavatam 9:418. He engaged his words only in the glorification of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sadhus are always interested in hearing about the activities of the Lord or his devotees. Since they are filled with Krishna consciousness, they are forgetful of their material miseries. Ordinary conditioned souls, being forgetful of the activities of the Lord, are always full of anxieties and material tribulations. On the other hand, since the devotees always engage in the topics of the Lord, they are forgetful of the miseries of material existence. You want me to read further, Prabhu?
Maybe if would you like to say something? Anything which anyone else also find interesting in this?
So, Prabhupada is clearly mentioning here that how devotees of the Lord, they don't care about any other miseries or anything in their life other than uh, meditating or chanting or discussing about the Lord. They don't have any other activity, even though they get miseries, but they forget all those things by engaged in the glories of or discussing or thinking about the pastimes and the activities of the Lord. And actually, Prabhupada is also very nicely mentioning that how material people, ordinary people, they forget the Lord, His activities because of their material conditions. But here, devotees, they forget material conditions uh, and think more about the Lord. So both are actually forgetting. But the point is what to forget and what to remember and what to think is is actually being mentioned, and how devotees are more intelligent, that they are remembering only activities uh, of the Lord, but ordinary people, general people, they are forgetting that and remembering always about the anxieties and material tribulations.
Very good. And he talking about not just the Lord, but or his devotees,
Yes, yes.
both the same platform. Para.
Well said, Prabhu.
Well said.
Okay, I just say this really quick. I
Yeah.
uh I always notice with karmis and stuff because I talk to them. I try to have a lot of compassion for them because it's so we have all of these things to focus our mind on and Krishna to focus our mind on, and it's true when you don't, they're occupied with this kind of miseries and these tribulations, material things. It's really amazing the contrast, the relief it can give us.
Mhm. So basically, what this is saying is that if we have miseries, that means the solution, the main solution, there are, of course, we have to do things in the world. The main solution is to fill our time more in chanting and hearing about the Lord, especially Bhagavatam, reading Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada's pastimes. Okay. So, okay. Who wants to read this 24th verse? Anyone? Vashish Prabhu, would you like to? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Babu.
Hare Krishna, would you like to read the verse, 24th verse, purport? Very interesting purport.
इति साधुः साध्वी सर्वसंग विवर्जितः संगस्तेषु अथा ते प्रार्थ्य संगदोषा हरा ite. Synonyms or translation directly.
Synonyms also.
Te ete, those very sadhava, devotees, sadhavi, virtuous lady, sarva, all, sangha, attachments, vivarjitaha, freed from sangha, attachment, teshu, unto them, atha, hence, te, by you, pratyah, must be solved. Sangha dosha, the pernicious effects of material attachment. Paraha, counteractors of he, indeed, they. Translation. O my mother, O virtuous lady, these are the qualities of great devotees who are free from all attachment. You must seek attachment to such holy men, for this counteracts the pernicious effects of material attachment. Purport. Kapila Muni herein advises his mother devotee, but if she wants to be free from material attachment, she should increase her attachment for the sadhus, for devotees who are completely free from all material attachment. In Bhagavad Gita, the 15th chapter, verse 5, it is stated, who is qualified to enter into the kingdom of Godhead. It is said there, Nirmana Moha Jita Sangha Doshaha. This refers to one who is completely freed from the puffed up condition of material possessiveness. A person may be materially very rich, opulent, or respectable, but if he at all wants to transfer himself to a spiritual kingdom, back home, back to Godhead, then he has to be freed from the puffed up condition of material possessiveness, because that is false position. The word moha used here means the false understanding that one is rich or poor. In this material world, the conception that one is very rich or very poor, or any such consciousness in connection with material existence is false, because his body itself is false or temporary. A pure soul is prepared to be freed from this material entanglement, must first of all be free from the association of the three modes of nature. Our consciousness at the present moment is polluted because of association with the three modes of nature. Therefore, in Bhagavad Gita, the same principle is stated. It is advised, Jita Sangha Dosha. One should be freed from the contaminated association of the three modes of material nature. Here also in the Srimad Bhagavatam, this is confirmed. True devotee who is preparing to transfer himself to the spiritual kingdom is also freed from the association of the three modes of material nature. We have to seek the association of such devotees. For this reason, we are being the international society for Krishna Consciousness. There are many mercantile, scientific, and other associations in human society that develop a particular type of education or consciousness. But there's no association which helps one to get free from all material association. If one has reached the stage where he must become free from this material contamination, then he has to seek the association of devotees, wherein Krishna consciousness is exclusively cultural. One can thereby become freed from all material association. As a devotee is free from all contaminated material association, he is not affected by the miseries of material existence. Even though he appears to be in material world, he is not affected by the miseries of the material world. How is it possible? It's a very good example in the activities of the cat. The cat carries a kitten in a mouth, and when she kills, and excuse me, because a devotee is free from all material contaminated material association, he is not affected by the miseries of material existence. Even though he appears to be in the material world, he is not affected by the miseries of the material world. How is it possible? There's a very good example in the activities of the cat. The cat carries a kitten in her mouth, and when she kills a rat, she also carries the booty in her mouth. Thus, both are carried in the mouth of the cat, but they are in different conditions. The kitten feels comfort in the mouth of the mother, whereas when the rat is carried in the mouth of the cat, the rat feels the blows of death. Similarly, those who are devotees engaged in Krishna consciousness, in the transcendental service of the Lord, do not feel the contamination of material miseries, whereas those who are not devoted in Krishna consciousness, actually feel the miseries of material existence. One should therefore give up the association of materialistic persons and seek the association of persons engaged in Krishna consciousness. And by such association, he will benefit from spiritual advancement. By their words and instructions, he will be able to cut off his attachment to material existence.
Excellent. Okay, Vashish Prabhu, do you like to say something? What struck you?
Many association of devotees for sadhu sangha, like I think some messages were being shared in the WhatsApp group, right? That's what last time, last few sessions we have been discussing about uh, what how we can progress in become how we can progress, like how to become good devotees, like why the movement is falling apart. It's only because of these asat sangha, they are not devotees or followers, disciples of Prabhupada who are not giving the right instructions, the proper instructions. That's why we are falling apart as a group, as a society, as an organization. So
Exactly.
that's all.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada writes there, for we we have to seek the association of such devotees. For this reason, we have begun the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. See?
Yeah,
For this reason,
yeah,
that
but mhm,
this kind of devotee association.
few devotees, like you were saying, you have been saying, but along with other devotees also, they wanted to discuss about
Yeah.
define or go in deeper meaning, the meaning of pure devotees.
Right.
So
Exactly.
mhm,
So this is the thing. He's not saying alone he himself. Therefore, he would have said, Srila Prabhupada would have said, no, that just associate,
yeah,
because you have to associate with a sadhu, you have to read the
mhm,
Bhagavatam, which I've given all these things. He says, no, associate with
yeah,
this International Society of Krishna Consciousness.
mhm,
So the association, why he formed ISKCON, is to give this sadhu association to everybody, to oneself, among ourselves, become better and better, purified, and then to others too.
Um,
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, one I was thinking this Srimad Bhagavatam third canto he had written before coming to America, right? Before
Only first,
incorporating ISKCON.
only first canto.
no,
No, first three
first
cantos
time.
were
No,
there, right?
first three parts of the first canto.
Or not till third canto was not available when
No,
he landed.
only three parts of the first canto.
Or three parts of the
Yeah.
first canto. I was under the impression that first three cantos were produced before he came to America.
No.
Okay.
In this part, no, international, this is where, I mean, kind of understanding that, this is where I've put the last 20 years of my little life in trying to see how we can develop this international society. He doesn't say any other society. He writes this name,
Yeah.
Vasis Prabhu. Yeah.
There's a book, I think Srila Prabhupada found Acharya of ISKCON, which has been compiled by Ravinder Sarup Prabhu. Are you aware of that book?
No.
No?
No.
No. Yeah, it's a book, I think in 2013, 14, the GBC, mainstream GBC, they have compiled a book. Mainly Ravinder Sarup Prabhu compiled a book about Prabhupada's position in ISKCON. But of course, he has given he has not given the rightful position like the Diksha group. But you know, they are propaganda like Prabhupada they want to put Prabhupada in the center as the foundational Siksha Guru. How every devotee should have a link with Prabhupada as main foundational Siksha Guru. That's what they claim actually. So they prepare the paper like to put Prabhupada in the center kind of for them. And in that book, there was something very nice. Like they have done some research and taken some articles from from the from Bhakti, not Bhakti, what is it? Sajan Toshani, the book, the magazine by Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur.
Yeah.
In that, where where there's a nice article. I will share it with you later afterwards about how what you were saying, when like when we talk about Prabhupada, it's not only about him. Just like we talk about Krishna, Prabhupada mentioned when he speaks about Krishna, it's Krishna and his devotees. And in the same way, when we talk about Prabhupada, it's about Prabhupada and his followers, his disciples, and ISKCON like all his devotees, the followers, or limbs of 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 the Guru of Prabhupada kind of. It's a nice what to say similarity kind of
So
yeah. We can
this
go back.
particular part, no, about association of devotees, there are many questions. Many devotees are trying. I mean, devotees around the world, especially people who have been like moved away or kicked out, or they don't like the association of the current ISKCON, which is provided. So a lot of discussions have taken place, and I have been fortunate or unfortunately been part of many of those discussions on the name, because whether an organization is required in an association, because he just says association, and let's look at it again.
Yes.
He says, so this principle is there, which is in incontrovertible, that we have to associate, to get out of the material attachments, we have to associate with holy men, not one holy man, no, holy men, and their symptoms are being given. So, and Srila Prabhupada, then he says we have to seek the association of such devotees. He doesn't say organization, no. He's talking about association, sadhu sangha. He's talking about, see, sangha, sadhava sangha. Then he says this part, we have to seek the association of devotees. For this reason, we have begun the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Now, what devotees are saying among Prabhupada and Uga devotees, that okay, he is talking about association of devotees that we can find anywhere. Why do we have to do this? Because this is all corrupted, right? The purpose of association of devotees we are doing, like in locally, we have so many devotees around the world. Even among family, one can associate with devotees. So, what is the answer to that? And why did he say this internet? Why is he saying making an international society? Why can't he say you have to seek association of such devotees? So you find like-minded devotees near you and you read and chant. Why didn't he say like that? These are similar questions.
It's not clear for me, bro, but maybe I don't understand.
Why do we
I've
need
not been in,
association?
I've not been in touch with such kind of devotees. Okay, but for like unfortunately, I should say unfortunately, that you have come across many people who have been kicked out of ISKCON. And of course, ISKCON right now, especially in the US or in any in Western part of the world, There's no proper like organization which is a strong organization or a big organization where they are strictly following Prabhupada. Right? I can understand. Right? But there are some devotees, like maybe a dozen of devotees who are similar, like-minded devotees who are Prabhupada Nugas. They are doing something. Maybe now their role, their function is to increase the number of devotees, and then strongly try to what? Because what I read, Prabhu, there's a book, Preaching is the Essence, and Preaching is the Essence, yeah. Few years back, I've been reading this book a couple of times, where Prabhupada, many times, and even in your messages, the messages that you have been sending, I think someone has, yeah, you yourself, I think, has sent some message regarding about ISKCON, the society which Prabhupada himself founded. And there are many other instances also where Prabhupada says, but ISKCON is responsible for spreading that movement that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started, right? You must be having this in your head. So we at present we are very far from what the goal needs to be achieved. The goal what we have to achieve is very far. And Prabhupada said clearly that this is ISKCON's duty or function to do what, purpose to do what. So how can we back off from that kind of, you understand?
Well, my first question is, why an organization?
Because Prabhupada wanted it.
Why? Why? Why did he create? Why did he want
Just,
some?
just, just a minute, Prabhu, just a minute. I'm at work after right now. Wait 1 minute.
Yeah. Anyone else also? I want to take part because this question is always raised. Why an organization? Why not local associations?
See, this is again, Prabhu, the understanding comes from, actually, if you see organization setup started not by Prabhupada. Actually, it started by Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur.
Very good.
Right? So there he established the mathas, 64 mathas across India, and gave the blueprint of starting the temples or the organization to Prabhupada. So Prabhupada actually followed the same blueprint and applied it across the world. And even the initiation format, uh, first initiation, second initiation, it was not before Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur started this Gayatri Mantras initiation.
Mhm.
So, what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati, again, this is what I have understanding. So, he gave the example of railways, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, that how the railways uh, network was being established, and as an organizational, it was creating a channel of commuting or traveling. Before that, there was no such organization. There was only kingdoms,
Mhm.
right? There was no such uh, organization or incorporations were there.
Mhm.
Before that, only kings, ministers, all those, and the even the corporates also were not that big. They were only limited, like shops and all those things. So when this organization started, then Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati started this organization level, because he understood that in future this organization is will be the driving factor for everything. And now Prabhupada used the same, and because of the organization only, this he was able to spread in 10 years so many in all the countries, in so many places. So even Prabhu, we cannot take away the credit what ISKCON has contributed to the society even now, because on the foot level, ISKCON has done a lot of preaching, right? We see even right now they have like four, if I'm not wrong, thousands of centers across the globe.
850. That's what they have submitted in our case.
Oh, okay. So it would have been definitely in thousands, not if they would have followed Prabhupada direction. But still, they have as a organization, if we see, they have contributed a lot, and so many devotees are spread all over the world now. So all because of the organization. If Prabhupada would have not created this organization, maybe some devotees would have taken up some preaching work, but slowly would have faded off,
Mhm.
like Gaudiya Mathas.
Mm. So my question is, see the other question, the against an organization, the arguments are like this. Argument is that, see, as he is talking about removing material attachments, okay,
Mhm.
by hearing and chanting. You see, the previous verse was this: engage constantly in chanting and hearing about me. The sadhus do not suffer material miseries. Trying to remove material attachments, we should come in touch with sadhu who is chanting and hearing. When you develop organization, then you get involved with money, people, power. See, then where is hearing and chanting? And you see the examples. People fall down, become so horrible.
Yeah, that is so. So the only reason what I can think of, um, organization was to do the preaching work.
But he's saying for this reason. See, this is the reason.
Hmm. So that same
Same
thing,
thing
na,
with Tattva.
association of devotees. People, to preach, you need association of devotees. So people will get only preached when they are in the group. You
No,
cannot.
not the other way. But he's saying this is, he's not saying I have begun intentionally for preaching. He's saying for association, this is, see, constantly he talks about it.
Right.
That this is the main reason for association. Nectar of instruction. Chaitanya Charitamrita is full of many places. Bhagavatam, so many places he says that
Hmm.
same. For this association. Sadhu Sangha. Preaching comes next.
Hmm. Prabhu,
Yes.
that in Nectar of Instruction, Srila Prabhupada, that Dadati Pratiganati,
Yeah.
that in that also Prabhupada writes that for interacting in between devotees, the six exchanges, Priti Lakshanam. For that he has made this
That is full.
ISKCON.
You have computer? Your own computer? You want to
Yeah,
share?
Prabhu.
Want to share on Prabhupada.com? Or should I share?
Mm, if you can share, I do not know that.
Oh,
I have laptop, I can read it.
okay, let me bring it up. Which text?
Mm,
There's any text he's talking about, but I'll show you. Tipratigranati.
Fourth, I think fourth.
Hmm.
Yeah, fourth one.
Here also he's saying. Mm,
Members of the.
yeah, you want to read? Translation. I don't we read this six. This is the purpose of society. So let's read that.
Okay,
Hmm.
so I will read. Offering gifts in. Okay, I will read them. ददाति प्रतिगणाति गुह्यम आख्याति पृच्छति भुङ्क्ते भोजते चैव षट्विधि प्रीतिलक्षणम्. Dadati gives charity, Pratiganati accepts in return, Guhyam confidential topics, Akhyati explains, Prichati enquires, Bhungte eats, Bhojyate feeds, Cha also, Ev certainly, Shat vidham six kinds, Priti of love, Lakshanam symptoms. Translation: offering gifts in charity, accepting charitable gifts, revealing one's mind in confidence, inquiring confidentially, accepting prasadam, and offering prasadam are the six symptoms of love shared by one devotee and another. Purport: in this verse, Srila Rupa Goswami explains how to perform devotional activities in the association of other devotees. There are six kind of activities. One, giving charity to the devotees. Second, accepting from the devotees whatever they may offer in return. Three, opening one's mind to the devotees. Fourth, inquiring from them about the confidential service of the Lord. 5. Honoring prasad or spiritual food given by the devotees. And sixth, feeding the devotees with prasad. An experienced devotee explains and an inexperienced devotee learn from him. This is Akhyati Prichati. When a devotee distribute prasad, remnants of food offered to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in order to maintain our spirit of devotional service, we must accept the prasad as the Lord's grace received through the pure devotees. We should also invite pure devotees to our home, offer them prasad, and be prepared to please them in all respect. This is called Bhungte Bhojate Chaev. Even in ordinary social activities, these six types of dealings between two loving friends are absolutely necessary. For instance, when one businessman wishes to contact another businessman, he arranges a feast in a hotel, and over the feast openly expresses what he wishes to do. He then inquires from his business friend how he should act, and sometimes presents are exchanged. Thus, whenever there is a dealing of priti, love in intimate dealing, these six activities are executed. In the previous verse, Srila Rupa Goswami advised that one should renounce worldly association and keep company with the devotees. Sangha Tyagat Satto Vritti. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness has been established to facilitate these six kind of loving exchanges between devotees. This society was started single handedly, but because people are coming forward dealing with the give and take policy, the society is now expanding all over the world. We are glad that people are donating very liberally to the development of the society's activities, and people are also eagerly accepting whatever humble contribution we are giving them in the shape of books and magazines dealing strictly with the subject matter of Krishna consciousness. We sometimes hold Hare Krishna festival and invite life members and friends to participate in the feasting by accepting prasad. Although most of our members come from the higher rungs of society, they nonetheless come and take whatever little prasad we are able to offer them. Sometimes the members and supporters inquire very confidentially about the methods of performing devotional service, and we try to explain them. In this way, our society is successfully spreading all over the world, and the intelligentsia of all countries is gradually appreciating our Krishna conscious activities. The life of the Krishna conscious society is nourished by these six type of loving exchange among the members, and therefore people must be given the chance to associate with the devotees of ISKCON, because simply by reciprocating in the six way mentioned above, an ordinary man can fully revive his dormant Krishna consciousness. In Bhagavad Gita 2.62, it is stated, Sangha Sanjayate Kama. One's desires and ambitions develop according to the company one keep. It is often said that a man is known by his company, and if an ordinary man associates with devotees, he will certainly develop his dormant Krishna consciousness. The understanding of Krishna consciousness is innate in every living entity, and if is already developed to some extent when the living entity take a human body. It is said in Chaitanya Charitamrit Mandya 2.107, Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabau Nai Shavanadi Suddha Chitte Kare Uday. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the hearts of living entities. It is not something to be gained from another source. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, the living entity naturally awakens. Since Krishna consciousness is inherent in every living entity, everyone should be given a chance to hear about Krishna. Simply by hearing and chanting Shravanam Kirtanam, one's heart is directly purified and one's original Krishna consciousness is immediately awakened. Krishna consciousness is not artificially imposed upon the heart, it is already there. When one chants the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the heart is cleansed of all mundane contamination. In the first stanza of his Shri Shikshashtakam, Lord Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpan Marjinam Bhav Mahadavagni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairav Chandrika Vitranam Vidyavadu Jeevanam Anandam Buddhivardhanam Pratipadam Purna Amrita Swadanam Sarvatma Sanapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. All glories to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleans the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life, of repeated birth and death. This Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It is the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss, and it enables us to fully taste the nectar for which we are always anxious. Not only in the chapter of the not only is the chanter of Mahamantra purified, but the heart of everyone who happens to hear the transcendental vibration Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare is also cleansed. Even the soul embodied in lower animals, insect, trees, and other species of life also become purified and prepared to become fully Krishna conscious simply by hearing the transcendental vibration. This was explained by Thakur Haridas when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inquired from him how living entities lower than human being can be delivered from. Okay.
Good. Maybe somebody else wants to read?
Yeah.
Anyone else? Sorry, yeah, Prabhu. I was thinking I didn't know it'd be. Let's see who else. Leo Prabhu, would you be able to read?
Hare Krishna.
Would you like to read, Prabhu? From here.
This was actually proved by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself when he passed through the forest of Jarikanda At that time, the tigers, snakes, deers, and all other animals abandoned their natural animosity and began chanting and dancing and Sankirtana. Of course, we cannot imitate the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we should follow in his footsteps. We are not powerful enough to enchant the lower animals, such as tigers, snakes, cats, and dogs, or entice them to dance. But by chanting the holy names of the Lord, we can actually convert many people throughout the world to Krishna consciousness. Contributing or distributing the holy name of the Lord is a sublime example of contributing or giving charity, the Dalati principle. By the same token, one must also follow the Griyanati principle and be willing and ready to receive the transcendental gift. One should inquire about the Krishna consciousness movement and open his mind in order to understand the situation of this material world. Thus, the Guyam Akyati Prichati principles can be served. The members of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness invite the Society's members and supporters to dine with them when they hold love feasts in all their branches every Sunday. Many interested people come to honor Prasad, and whenever possible, they invite members of the Society to their homes and feed them sumptuously with Prasad. In this way, both the members of the Society and the general public are benefited. People should give up the company of so-called yogis, gyanis, karmis, and philanthropists because their association can benefit no one. If one really wants to attain the goal of human life, he should associate with devotees of the Krishna Consciousness movement because it is the only movement that teaches one how to develop love of God. Religion is the special function of human society, and it constitutes the distinction between human society and animal society. Animal society has no church, mosque, or religious system. In all parts of the world, however downtrodden human society may be, there is some system of religion. Even tribal aborigines in the jungles of also have a system of religion. When a religious system develops and turns into love of God, it is successful. As stated in the first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 1, first canto, chapter 2, verse 6. Savai pumsam parodharmo yato bhakti adokshaje ahai tuki aparatihata yayatma suprasidati. The supreme occupation dharma for all humanity is that by which man can attain to loving devotional service unto the transcendent Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted in order to completely satisfy the self. If the members of human society actually want peace of mind, tranquility, and friendly relations between men and nations, they must follow the Krishna conscious system of religion by which they can develop their dormant love for Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As soon as people do so, their minds will immediately be filled with peace and tranquility. In this regard, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur warns all devotees engaged. You want me to skip?
1 minute.
Sure.
So, I mean, we can read later on this thing. So a lot is there to unpack in this. So this where it says, no, in the next verse informs us what kind of Vaishnava should be selected as a friend and how Vaishnavas should be served. This is uh, this is important because one should mentally honor the devotee who chants the holy name of Lord Krishna. One should offer humble obeisance to the devotee who has undergone spiritual initiation, diksha, and is engaged in worshipping the deity. And one should associate with and faithfully serve that pure devotee who is advanced in undeviated devotional service and whose heart is completely devoid of the propensity to criticize others. The purport, Srila Prabhupada immediately starts, in order to intelligently apply the sixfold loving reciprocations mentioned in the previous verse, one must select proper persons with careful discrimination. So Srila Rupa Goswami therefore advises that we should meet with the Vaishnavas in an appropriate way according to their particular status. So let me go back to how we came here. What is the message is? Back to the 24th verse. Where this is the where Srila Prabhupada says the reason why he is made ISKCON is to seek the association of such devotees by whose association one can remove material attachments. See? So the question would be raised. So we went there because we were talking about what was the purpose of the association was to get out. So this was the Prabhu we're talking about the preaching. It is a secondary principle. Automatically, the preaching happens, as Srila Prabhupada explains in Nectar of Instruction, by the principle of dadati pratigranati, bhungte bojayate chaiva, all that. So, with that principle, that association is through that. Association, such devotee association is in the mode of six reciprocation, is that association. And that is the purpose, which is to get out of the material world. Now the question would be raised is, one is about the organization, because organization means money, power, all these things. Plus another thing could be now, which is related, you see, the result of organization making, you see, what happened to Gaudiya Math, what happened to ISKCON, and if we associate with them, we will go down. Because the purpose of the association is not being served. So two arguments are put. One is that because the association is not good, so organization is not a way to go in the future. Another argument is that we don't need to associate with this ISKCON. Or no, another argument is that no, Srila Prabhupada is saying that we should associate with ISKCON. Hence, one who is not associating, he cannot become pure. See? So this is the discussion to have. How? Why organization? Vashish Prabhu, you are saying something?
Hi Krishna. I've sent a message in
Yeah.
the in the chat,
Yeah.
like from Bhagavad Gita preface. So like we have just read, Prabhupada throughout his teachings has been highlighting the importance of the organization. Now we understand that now the organization, the society that he created is corrupt. But that doesn't mean it cannot be rectified,
I mean,
isn't
why
it?
did it become corrupt? Gaudiya Math also, Srila Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita, became
No,
corrupt. ISKCON
but
also.
Gaudiya Math is sorry, Prabhu. But Gaudiya Math, that that happened during Prabhupada's time. Prabhupada like uh has already written about Gaudiya Math, right? And that's why he created ISKCON also. Just like uh, just like Gaudiya Math, if you say even Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said that even if his institution get one pure devotee, his movement is a success, right? So Prabhupada, Prabhupada is that successor of Gaudiya Math, and now he wants to give it in another form, like another name, ISKCON. It's the same as Gaudiya Math. It's the same as Rupa Goswami also, I think, founded one society earlier. I forgot what was the name. Vishwa Vaishnav Raj Sabha. I don't know if
Yeah.
you have heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the same thing, and the translation of Vishwa Vaishnava Sabha is International Society for Krishna Consciousness only. So it's the same thing. You don't
But
have to. And Prabhupada,
ISKCON is just a organization, no? With it was registered in New York as a religious corporation with members, trustees, and
yeah,
all that whole GBC structure, management structure, all that is an organization, no?
yes,
So that organization meaning money, power, everything comes, no?
yeah, it's the same. It's the same thing. Like people may complain, other people may complain that okay, religion is a cause of suffering or cause of war in this world. So we should completely avoid religion in the world. Prabhupada give example of that cataract, cataract in the eye. If the eye gives you some pain, you shouldn't pluck out the eye. You should pluck out the cataract, right? So it's the same thing.
Okay, good point.
I know you're playing. I know you're playing devil's advocate,
No,
Prabhu,
I'm
but
just, it's a good, very good argument you're making. Very good. Anyone else with some other arguments? Because this is among among Prabhupada Nugas, this is, except the Bangalore devotee group, most of the other devotees think in this manner. And this is a prevalent argument. I mean, this is a one way, it is a valid argument, no? Because the purpose of association of devotees is to get out, and purpose of ISKCON is to have association of devotees, good devotees, who are like sadhus. This is the whole purpose of sadhu, and sadhu's whole is given, and his symptoms are given. Sadhu, one who is always hearing and chanting. That is the association is being recommended, not materialistic, not politicizing, not all these associations. So, any other arguments why or for and against, why organization or not? Why I'm making it a point is because the one of the reasons, I mean, many people say, "Oh, you are all, oh, Ritvik devotees or Prabhupada Nunga, you're all fighting among yourself. You're all made. You're kind of what one devotee said, that devotees are like, you are like Ritvik people are like mini gurus anyway, in their own. But they are, one difference between ISKCON is that they are not even working together among themselves, fighting among themselves even. Anyone? Shuddha Sattva Prabhu, you have any else? Anything else? We don't have the other Maharathis today.
uh, I think Prabhu has put a valid point that uh, about the I. Another example can be taken is the government, right? Even though the government is corrupt, but it doesn't mean that we should not have a government at all to control everybody.
Mhm.
right? So government is required, some controlling authority is required to manage affairs and everything, be
Mhm.
it preaching and see everything has. Even when we speak, again, I'm not criticizing anyone, but um, Prabhupada Anugas, no doubt they have done a lot of service to Prabhupada and they have done a lot. But still, how many devotees have got uh, Prabhupada from, I would not say Prabhupada, but who became a devotee through Prabhupada Anugas without the organization. So we have so many organization, so many devotees across the globe,
Mhm.
but practically not many uh, huge
Yeah.
amount of people have become devotees through them, right?
Well, the counter argument to that is that even organizations in the West, Prabhupada Nunga organization in the West, they are not able to make Western devotees. It's not just a question of Indian or
Right.
like organization or non-organization. Because even let's say is current ISKCON,
Hmm.
they in India they are making so many devotees.
Correct. Hmm.
But in the West they are also not able to. So
Yeah.
whether that is related to West or India, difference between West and India, or it's a difference because of organization or organization, that's not clear, no? It's not proven.
I didn't get your point, Prabhu. Like you said
My
that.
point is that if there are the why is see most of the Prabhupada Nugas in the West mostly are not able to make devotees compared to
Hmm.
let's say in India, Madhupani Prabhu group, they are so organized and very well, very good devotees, and they are making so many devotees.
Hmm.
So, in from that, the answer to that argument could be that it is not a question of organization or not organization. It's more problem is the problem of preaching in the West compared to preaching in India, because you see, many devotees who are in India, even without organization, they are able to make so many devotees. There are many preachers who are making devotees just around them.
Yeah,
Just
but most of them are from organization, Prabhu.
uh,
Without organization, like a freelancer devotee, it's very rare to find anyone having.
I think in Jaipur itself there are 5 groups of Prabhupada Nugas, apart from
Hmm.
including Akshapatra, and
Hmm.
most of them are making so many devotees.
But again, they have an organization structure, right?
Okay, hold on. So let us discuss that. Organization is like now we know one group, they don't have any organization, like structure of this and that.
Hmm.
They are preaching just around a preacher. Couple of I know I was part of developing 2 or 3 groups. They
Hmm.
started without an organization, no, just around one preacher.
Right.
They developed.
See, again, if it is a, like two, three families and all, it can run without organization. But on a large scale, you need certain rules and regulations to be coming into the picture, and organization setup needs to be done
Sure.
on a large scale. If you're doing it for certain families, two, three families, a bunch of people, then yes, you may not need organization structure. But if you're doing it at large scale, public scale, then you need some organization, some
You're
some
absolutely right.
money
Yeah.
involved, some managers involved. Those things are part of organization that comes into picture.
Now another question, see another thing happens is part of the see Prabhupada didn't create just this society for Krishna consciousness.
Mhm.
He did an international society.
Mhm.
So what people are saying is that, okay, that argument is given, Srila, we are making our society. It's
Mhm.
an organization in one part of the world. We don't need to be part of an international society. See?
Yeah, that is something which I am also debating in my mind, actually, Prabhu. Because if we go by the words of Prabhupada, then we have to go with the name of ISKCON. But if we get
Let's
into
not even the
essence,
name. Let's not call it even name. Let's say worldwide Hare Krishna movement. I'm talking about the international or local organization. We'll come to the name also.
Mhm.
You can address that international versus local organization.
uh, international versus local organization.
Worldwide Hare Krishna movement or Hare Krishna movement.
What is the question? I'm
Uh, um, is when you say organization is required, does it mean Hare Krishna movement is sufficient, or it needs to be a worldwide Hare Krishna movement?
A local organization is required because Prabhupada always mentioned, right? Focused on the localized aspect rather than the centralized aspect. So
Fine.
local Hare Krishna movement, I would.
Why did he make it
And
international then?
Prabhu,
Yeah.
mm, bec-
for worldwide effective preaching, the international that worldwide effective preaching, there must be organization so that preaching can flourish very nicely.
Okay. But here he is not talking about preaching. See, he is talking
Okay.
about we have to seek the
Sangha.
association of such devotees. For this reason, we have begun the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. For some reason, he is equating association to a international society, yeah, International Association of
So
Devotees.
one aspect which I can, again, this is my own mental speculation, is because Prabhupada wanted this to spread across all the countries, not limited to certain countries and all. So it has to be international. Otherwise, if a country who does not have any devotee, how he will get associated with an so somebody from another country has to go into that country and preach. So it has to become international.
Or like Vashish Prabhu, he went to Bangalore to study. He
Mhm.
learned Krishna consciousness. He came back to Mauritius and he's preaching there. It doesn't have to be a worldwide organization. No?
But for him to know about Krishna consciousness, somebody has to he how he will know about the Bangalore.
Before people used to do like, this tongue same like Chinese person who came
Yeah,
to
yes.
India to
Mhm.
learn like that he went. No?
Correct. Correct. Even Jesus Christ went to India. Right? So
So like that people can go, why does it have to be international organization? So all these are
Uh,
questions
so
which
that is Prabhupada mercy that he doesn't he knows the yugas the Kali Yuga mentality. People won't be interested. So they have to be make Prabhupada has to make them interested.
mm,
So in a way, Prabhupada, the reason this is all Prabhupada compassion, right? The reason Prabhupada traveled to the West, he could have waited and somebody would have approached him. No, but he was very compassionate. He was so similarly, he is extending his compassion so that people will go to the countries and places and cities and preach about Krishna consciousness, not wait for them to come to them to receive Krishna consciousness.
mhm,
It's very benevolent nature of a our acharya.
mhm. Okay. Pradyumna Prabhu, you have anything to throw more light?
Not getting, but Prabhupada says that whole world should that come under one umbrella or one roof, something like that. Srila Prabhupada. I was searching on my.
Okay. Anyone else? Mataji, you like to say something? Syama Mataji, Sarita Mataji, Lucky Prabhu, still there?
So, Nimai Prabhu, you are
Yes,
asking
I'm
that
still
why.
here.
Okay.
Yes,
So you
Lucky.
are asking that why Srila Prabhupada create that worldwide organization mm, if it is not for preaching.
I mean, the point is about one first question was why an organization when organization gets corrupted. Second is why a worldwide organization, you know, that's second. Many more questions are there, but yeah, that's these are the two we are discussing right now.
I
But
would just like to say that yeah, an organization, a society, because when you have a society, you have a place for everybody, and everybody could function under a Krishna consciousness and still have a place. You know, because people are so different, because people are going through so many different things in this material world, it can be such a mess. It's a good this society Prabhupada has created as our opportunity to all be together and also apart, but also focus on Krishna.
Mhm. Nice. So I have to go today early, but just in summarizing, this is a very interesting topic, and we are going to take it up more next week and more discussion. So, what we learned was that Srila Prabhupada is saying in the purport to these verses about Sadhu Sangha that it is not just one devotee himself, but other devotees too who may not be. We can discuss that also next week about how they may not be fully pure devotees, but they are pure devotees for the reason that they are like green mango compared to a ripe mango. They are following a pure devotee. We can discuss that more. But that association of sadhus, meaning, but even those devotees, we have to select properly according to the next verse in Nectar of Instruction, which is talking about there are three kinds of devotees. So we should be very careful in associating in an association of devotees. Basically, our association of devotees should be who are seriously practicing Krishna consciousness, not prajalpa, not doing material things and so many things, so that we can be benefited from that association rather than just with the name or this and that. Because Srila Prabhupada made ISKCON, so now we have to remain in association of ISKCON because what to do? Srila Prabhupada made ISKCON. But the purpose behind ISKCON is the association of devotees who are not attached to material things, but they are attached to more hearing and chanting. And in that association, the symptoms are a good association devotees are these. They are dadati pratigranati guhyam akhyati prichati bhungte bhojayate chaiva sadvidham priti lakshanam. These are the symptoms. See, 6 symptoms of love. So these are the symptoms that we need to look for in association devotees, or if we are organizing an association of devotees, and these are the symptoms that we need to develop these loving reciprocation within the association of devotees. So that is the whole deal. Now, what Srila Prabhupada he did, following as Shuddha Sattva Prabhu said, following the example of or direction, an example of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, is to form an organization to develop these 6 reciprocations. which is, before Bhaktivedanta Saraswati never been done in that manner, where organizationally it is being developed. And so this he went on further than a local organization or a country organization like Gaudiya Math in India, worldwide, an international society for Krishna consciousness, uh, and and these symptoms within that society. Now, of course, we see there are the basic principle of this current ISKCON is itself is the Guru itself is of associating around whom. No, that itself is off. So that is not the association which Srila Prabhupada created or envisaged. But what should be our association of devotees? That is what we are trying to understand. Whether it should be a local association, an organized association, international association, as we discussed, and what should be the name of it. All those let us discuss next week. Okay. And there is much more to discuss because this is very very pertinent to us, because we are all kind of alone or with a few devotees or a local organization that we are practicing Krishna consciousness. And to understand what Srila Prabhupada wishes and what he would like us to do, it's quite important, I think, because it will help us become detached from the material world as we develop not only a good association, but the right method of right association with these symptoms, plus also the right way to associate with that association of devotees so that we can be benefited. Um, Anyone else has anything closing to say? Shuddha Sattva Prabhu, you want to add anything?
Actually, another thought it came in favor of organization uh, is, see, if a simple one devotee is preaching and without forming an organization, what is the future of it? The future is, as long as that devotee is alive, maybe that he may preach on a big scale. But as the devotee has limited life, everybody has to go one day, right? So if he departs the body, then that structure or the association what he has created will slowly fade away. But if he has set up an organization, a structure, then it will go on generation of not the family generation, but another set of devotees would be there to lead that under him, or previously working under him, and slowly maybe once that devotee has left the organization, they may took over. So that is another point, that how this mission for 10,000 years, Prabhupada said 10,000 years my mission will be there, right? So that's how it can go. Otherwise, by simply few devotees doing certain things, we cannot guarantee that it will go for next 10,000 years
That is
without
under
going through.
Krishna's control, no? Like how it used to happen before Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. This is how, no? Throughout the ages. This is how the devotees are there. Okay, one devotee passes away, but he has already created so many good devotees, and Krishna will inspire somebody else to preach, and they preach, and
See, if you put that everything is under Krishna's control, then we don't have to worry about
it was
anything.
happening. No, it was happening
No,
before.
no, it was happening before, and it is happening now also, no? But now it is happening more organically. And another point I would like to put is, see, a devotee may have a certain limitations. He's not a pure devotee and he's still preaching, right? See, in if you, because um, in India, generally, many of the people who are actually in the preaching work accept ISKCON. Other than that, people have uh, gone through a process of self-realization, and then only though they start going, do preaching generally.
Some,
Huh?
some, not all.
Some.
Yeah.
Now it has become another level. It has become prominence to become a, preacher,
Another
kathavachak,
another occupation. Yeah.
and another occupation. But I'm talking something about maybe a couple of decades before. That's what we have seen. Anyone who is sitting on a giving pravachan or classes, he's a matured age, and he has done certain practices in their life for a couple of decades, and then he generally become a sadhu. Then that's what the trend was actually. But now we see even our lot of brahmacharis are preaching on the field, which are which they have done like 4 5 years of sadhana, and they are on to preaching, and some of them are just 2 years of, or not, they just started and they are on to preaching also. So how this is gonna work is because they are under the guidance of certain organization, and organization is being driven by collective intelligence, because not one person is a pure devotee right now who is guiding them. So collectively whole set of devotees are thinking in that direction, and that's how it is proceeding forward.
Mhm. So basically, why organization is required is because finally there are not many pure devotees around. That's what you are saying, no?
I cannot say there are many pure devotees around, but we don't know any if there is any pure devotee or not.
So let's end here. This is a very interesting topic because Srila Prabhupada, maybe that's why he wrote the books and he asked us to distribute the books everywhere, you know, so that he is distributing himself and an organization, and so that at least one pure devotee can preach around the world. You know. So that's Pradyumna Prabhu. You want to say something, or and anyone else? Yeah.
That you are asking the international society, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, not getting. I was searching on, not getting.
Okay.
I see everywhere Prabhupada is for propagating, and so that people can hear a pure devotee like this.
Fine. We will talk about it next week. I've been researching, and maybe I can share what all things I've been thinking about. Then let's meet next week. Huh? Thank you. Hare Krishna, everyone.
Hare Krishna.
Everyone,
Vancha
Vancha
Hare Krishna.
Asindhya Vyaya Vichapati Namo Vaishnavebhyo Namo